If you feel like you've been working and working with nothing to show for it, like everyone else is moving and you're frozen in place, I want you to consider this. You're not stuck, you're rooting. The part of you that's growing right now just happens to be the part nobody can see. Somewhere along the way, we decided that progress has to be visible to count. If you can't point to it, photograph it, post it, then it didn't happen. So you measure your life by what shows above the surface. And when the surface goes quiet for a season, you panic. You assume the quiet means failure. But the quiet almost never means what you think it means. Think about a stalk of bamboo for a second. You plant the seed, you water it, you wait. The first year, nothing. The second year, nothing. The third and fourth, still nothing above the soil. And then, somewhere in the fifth year, that bamboo can shoot up 90 feet in a matter of weeks. People look at that and call it a miracle, a sudden burst. But it was never sudden. For all those silent years, the plant was building a root system deep and wide enough to support the height it was always going to reach. The leap looked instant. The rooting took years. That's closer to what's happening inside you than you realize. The season when nothing seems to be happening isn't a season of nothing. It's the season where the foundation gets laid. You're putting down the patience, the skill, the quiet inner structure that the visible leap, when it finally comes, will need to stand on. Pull a plant up to check if the roots are growing and you kill it. Some growth only works in the dark. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call him Marcus. For 3 years, Marcus felt like his life had simply stopped. His friends were getting promotions, buying homes, posting photos from places he couldn't afford to go. And there he was, in the same small flat, working a job that felt like a holding pattern, learning a craft at night that hadn't paid him a single pound. Everyone he knew seemed to be sprinting. He felt cemented to the floor. What Marcus couldn't see was what those 3 years were actually doing. Every quiet night was another root going down. The skill he was building in the dark, with nobody watching and nothing to show, was becoming the deepest thing about him. And when the opportunity finally arrived, the one that changed everything, he didn't have to scramble for it. He was ready, because he'd spent 3 years getting ready without knowing that was the work. The leap took weeks, but he could only make it because of the years that looked like nothing. There's real science under this, by the way. Researchers studying skill mastery described something called the latency of expertise. The brain consolidates learning largely during rest and sleep, in periods when no obvious practice is happening at all. The gains from today's effort often don't appear until days or weeks later, after the neural pathways have quietly strengthened in the background. In other words, much of your real progress is invisible by design. The plateau you're standing on isn't the absence of growth, it's growth that hasn't surfaced yet. So if you feel cemented in place, here are 3 things I want you to understand about the way growth actually works. First, a plateau is not a dead end. It's a landing. It's the level stretch where the body and the mind absorb everything they just climbed. Nobody grows in a straight diagonal line. You grow in steps, and the flat part of every step is where the last gain gets locked in. If you quit on the flat, you quit right before the rise. Second, the depth you're building is invisible on purpose. If your roots showed above the soil, they'd be exposed, fragile, easy to break. The most important parts of you are growing precisely where nobody can interfere with them. The silence you're so afraid of is the protection that makes the eventual height possible. Third, you can't rush a root, but you can starve one. The danger in a season like this was never moving too slowly. It's giving up the watering, the showing up, the quiet daily faith, because you can't see the result yet. Keep feeding the thing in the dark. The surface will catch up. So stop measuring your worth by what's broken the surface. You were never stuck. You were simply in the part of the story that doesn't photograph well, the part where everything important happens underground. The naturalist John Muir once said, "The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness." And a forest is mostly what you can't see, a vast network beneath the floor, holding every tall thing up. That's what this season is for. Not to be escaped and not to be feared, but to be trusted, the way a farmer trusts the ground in winter. You were never stuck. You were rooting, so keep going down. The height is coming, and it'll only be as tall as the roots you're laying right now.